Hi there, Crafty Peeps. Enis here from Paper Crafting with Enis, and I'm on today with another project sponsored by Beebeecraft, and the product that I am using from them today is this gorgeous bead collection, and they are calling this the PandaHall Elite 15 style glass bead selection. They're all in these beautiful pink shades, and these are 8mm beads. I will have a link in the description box below to those. I'm also using some beads out of my stash, and I believe these came from Joann's, and these are the colors that I'm using from that pack. I will be using these smaller ones. I didn't have enough of the larger ones, so we're going to use the small ones. I'm going to use a little piece of trim that I got from some Happy Mail, and I think this came from Carrie, from Carrie's Crafts. It was on one of the projects she recently gifted to me. I'm also going to use this Beadsmith Berkeley Fireline crystal beading wire. Well, it's actually like a fishing line. It's very, very thin. This is a 4-pound line. I don't know if it matters what size it is. I'm new to doing beading, so this happens to be the one I picked up. I'm also going to be using my weeding tool to pick up beads and a pair of scissors for cutting line and whatnot. And I'm going to put together beads on a die cut. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to edge all of this off with beads, and I'm not using glue. I'm using the Fireline. And let me just tell you very quickly, Beebeecraft is an online store that carries beads and tons of other crafty things, so you'll want to check them out. They do have a YouTube program that if you have 100 or more subscribers, you can apply to, and if they accept you, they will give you a spending allowance to purchase different products from their site, and then they will require you to do a certain number of videos as well as an unboxing. So this is my first project out of my latest haul that I got from them. And I also have a discount code. It is Enis10, and you can save 10% off your entire order if you shop with Beebeecraft online and use my code. I don't receive anything from it, and it's just a gift to you from Beebeecraft for watching my videos. I will also have links to the Beebeecraft website as well as the product that I'm using today, and a link to the YouTube program if you're interested in that. So anyway, let me push some of these things out of the way. And you're going to have to excuse me if I sniffle or anything, because I do have a cold. So what I've done is I've taken, I think I've got about 46 to 50 inches of the Fireline cording here, and I doubled it up through a beading needle. I did use a needle threader because it's kind of hard to get through that tiny hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with, and actually let me zoom this in a little bit, okay, so you can see what's going on. I am going to start out with a small bead, and let's see, this is probably a 3mm pearl bead. I'm going to take it all the way down, almost to the end, but not quite. Okay. And then I'm going to come in through the opposite direction. By the way, I'm leaving a little tail here because you're going to need to do some tying off. So you're going to want to make sure you leave a tail. And coming in from the opposite direction of the bead. Okay, and you'll want to make sure that you pull your thread all the way through, and I'm going to go through a couple of times. So I came out on this side, I'm going to go back in on this side. Okay, and now I'm just going to tie this off with a couple of knots. One more knot just to secure it well. And this bead is going to act as my anchor. So at this point, what I'm doing is I am going to alternate the 8mm beads with the 4mm beads. I'm going to put a bead on, then I'm going to pass the thread back through a second time, so it causes like a little slip knot. Then I will pick up the next bead, and I will repeat that until I get the number of beads that I need for my project. Now, how I figured out how many beads I need for this project is I took the die and I counted all of the places where I wanted the beads to lay. And I figured out which ones were the small beads and which ones were the large beads, which happened to be an equal number. And then I just set the beads aside so that I would know which ones I was using. So I'm going to continue stringing these beads. Basically, I'm going to be making a bracelet is what I'm doing. And at a certain point, I am going to just jump on to the next part in the process so that you don't have to watch me string 36 beads or however many beads I needed altogether. So just keep watching and the next part will be up very shortly. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am taking another one of the 3mm beads, and the end of my string of beads, I'm going to put the string through the hole where I want to start, and then on the back side of the project I'm going to add the 3mm bead, and I'm going to tie that off several times to make it very secure. Now that the anchor bead is secure on the back of the project, I am going to pull off another length of the Fireline beading wire, and I'm going to thread a beading needle. And once that's done, I am going to go into the bead on the back and secure the new piece of string to that anchor bead. And then I'll go through the front and I will secure the very first bead on the front by going through the bead itself as well as through the project. So here I am securing that first bead to the front of the project by going through the bead itself. So that'll anchor it to the bead on the back. And then I'm going to go through one of the holes and pull that tight. Okay. And notice there's a gap in the thread of the bracelet portion of the beads. You need to have that gap there because each bead is not going to sit directly next to the bead next to it. There's a little bit of space in between each one, and you'll see what I mean as I begin beading this project. So I'm going down in between the first and the second bead, and I'm pulling the wire tight. And I'm going to do that 2 times on the left side of every bead. And so that secures every bead to the next one. Okay. And here I am securing the second bead. And here it is going through that second pass and on to the next bead. Okay, so you're going to see me doing that for a few more beads, and then I'm going to jump to another section of the video. So at this point, I'm halfway through sewing the beads onto the project, and I am going to go off camera. I'm going to finish up the beads, and then I'll be right back. Okay, Crafty Peeps, so I am back, and you'll see that my heart is all beaded. And let me just tell you what I did to finish this off. After all the beads were sewn on, what I did was I took another length of thread. I once again tied it off in the back on the anchor bead, and then I just went around every bead all the way around just to secure it one more time. So I'm sure these beads are not going to fall off of here. So in the meantime, I'm going to be putting this on the front of my card. And with this one bead right here, that makes it unlevel. So I did glue on a few more of the same size beads going all the way around. And I also added 2 layers of the Happy Crafter Shop pink foam tape. We're going to put the card together, which should be really, really quick. And by the way, I did decide not to use the trims on it because I think that this heart takes up a lot of space on the front of the card, so I decided not to use that. So I'm just going to push these couple of things out of the way. And I have my card base, which is an A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I did cut 2 pieces of this paper from the Sweetheart Day collection that I showed earlier, and I did stamp a sentiment and embossed it. And this one's going to go on the inside, and this one's going to go on the front. The reason there's 2 is I actually stamped this too low on here. And so I'm just going to put this on the front, and the heart's going to cover it up so we would never even know. I've already added foam tape to the back, so let me get my foam tape off. And I like to use my Cricut weeding tool to do that. It grabs that tape really, really easily. So we're going to put this card together. Toot sweet. Open this up. Try to get this nice and even going all the way around. Definitely not even, but that's okay. So on the front, I also have the score tape on there, so I'm going to pop that off. And since I had a little bit of difficulty getting that other piece on straight, I'm going to add some wet glue to this, so that way I can move it around if I need to. So I'm just going to add a little bit along all of the glue strips. Okay. And hopefully once I stick it down, if it's not in the right spot, I can move it. So let's see if we can get this on here better than on the inside. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. All right. So that's on there. And my little love here that I'm going to put in the middle of my heart. This is a KS Craft die. So let me just get the tape off the back here. A little bit of glue. And I'm going to kind of put that on an angle. Okay, so I have my love stuck on there. And now I'm going to attach that to the front of my card. So let me just get this backing off the foam tape. Yeah, so to sum this project up, it did take me a good hour to do all the beadwork on the front. And it was a little tedious, but you know, I really do like the result. and these beads are absolutely gorgeous. So let me get this on here. Press that down. Okay. And then I've got some liquid pearl, and let me see, does this have a color on it? Pink pearlized anyway. So I'm just going to put a couple little dots on. Just to jazz it up a tiny bit. Uh-oh. That one got a little messy. And maybe one more. And there you have it. My beaded Valentine card. Made with the beads from this gorgeous bead collection, PandaHall Elite's glass bead, 15 different styles. I only used these pearl beads down here with the shimmer on them, as well as some beads from my stash. And I think it made an absolutely beautiful card. And this is not a card that you would drop in the mailbox. And what I plan to do with this card is actually put it in a pack that I'm going to be sending to my mom with some gifts for Valentine's Day. So I hope she likes it. She is a card maker, so I think she will appreciate it. And you have my whole heart and always will. I think that's perfect for my mom. So that's it, my beaded card. I hope you enjoyed this project. I know the video was a little bit long and a little bit choppy because I didn't want you to have to watch me bead all of these beads all the way around. So yeah, it was kind of an experiment kind of a video. But anyway, I hope you like the project. Maybe you'll try something like this out yourself sometime. I have glued beads on before, but this time I thought I would try sewing them on. And it was fun, but you know, it is a little tedious and takes some time, but it is a very, very beautiful card, and these beads are not going anyplace. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate all of my subscribers for hanging out with me, and I want to encourage anybody who's watching who's not a subscriber to click the like button, to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this project, and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click the little bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, and that way you won't miss out on any of my crafty fun. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you all later. Bye, Crafty Peeps.